Hull were there for the taking today, and we've gone away with 0 points. And that's now, I think it's 4 games, 1 win, and 3 defeats for Wilder.
Ole, ole, ole. Ole, ole, ole. Ole, ole, ole.
Here we go again, Blades fans. It feels like Groundhog Day. It really does, because we keep coming away from games thinking, what could have been? Against Southampton, we could and maybe should have got more from that game. From this one today, again, we could and maybe should have got more from this game, if not a win. But again, it's just not quite good enough, is it? I can't sit here and say we 100% deserve to win this game of football today or get something from this game of football. We have to go there and show it. We have to go out there and take the game to them. Like I think we did, but we've got to create more chances. It's just we created some, but none of them were like off the training ground. It's all kind of let's hope 𝗍𝗲𝗎 does something special, or oh, Danny Ings is going to twist and turn and get ourselves a penalty. It it doesn't feel like we've played 4 or 5 passes and we've made a really good chance for ourselves, or we've created a bit of space, we've put in a wonderful cross and it's right on someone's head. That never happens. So it's a bit frustrating. It's very, very frustrating tonight. Or today, should I say? It's an early kickoff, and every time there's an early kickoff, it always kind of feels really early, doesn't it? Or yeah, really early when you look at the clock. Like this should be like 6, 7 o'clock now. But anyway, thank you for joining me here today. I had to rush to get to this match today because I went to have a tattoo today. Where is it? This part here. I'm not going to go into it. It's still got the cling film on it. But big shout out to Ben Smalley from the Ashes tattoo studio in Woodhouse. He's not paid me to say that. Obviously, I've paid him. But the reason why I mention it is because we're both big blades and we're both trying to kind of get it done so that we can go and watch the match. And do you know what? If we'd have known what was going to happen, maybe I'd have said to Ben, "Do you want to carry on?" And maybe he would have said yes, because it was really frustrating, wasn't it? Really, really frustrating yet again. Anyway, so let's start with the lineup. And I wasn't against it. I think Wilder made the right choices. Tom Davies had a big stint in that last game against Southampton. I thought he was fantastic. One of the things that I didn't mention in my match reaction Blades against Southampton was the fact that Tom Davies was phenomenal for the time he was on the pitch. And it just made me think, what could have been if Tom Davies would have been fit ever since we signed him? But let's be honest, he wouldn't be playing football in the Championship if he was. He's way too good for that. But obviously, he made way for Matos. I thought Matos had a pretty good game as well. I think Matos is growing into being a Sheffield United footballer, still a young lad, still highly inexperienced, really, because I think he's had a couple of loan spells from Chelsea. But I quite like him. And he came in for Tom Davies. And also Harrison Burrows got a rest and we played Sam McCallum too. I think Sam McCallum actually scored away at Hull last season as well. So I did see earlier in the game him getting really high up into the box. Obviously thought, I think it does feel like that. When you score against a team, you feel like, that's the team that I score against. So I can see him getting high up the pitch and trying to get a goal early on. But other than that, it was pretty much the same team that played against Southampton. I thought we were really strong at the back for the most part. Couple of silly mistakes at times. Ben Mee passed the ball back really short, which is completely out of character. I think he made maybe another mistake as well. I think it was lead up to the goal. He was nowhere near his man, but he's not perfect. None of our players are, or they wouldn't be playing for us. But I think that overall we were the better side. We were. I think if I look at the stats, were we the better side? I quite often say this and I'm completely wrong. Yeah, I think so. 62% ball possession for us, 12 shots, only 3 on target though. 12 shots to their 5. We had 3 on target. They had 2 on target. They only had 38% of the possession. We had 2 big chances. They had no big chances. We had 9 corners. They had 4. A higher pass percentage rate, higher XG. overall, we were the better team in this game. And like I said earlier, I quite often think we are. But actually, this time the stats back it up as well. And I know it's not all about passing the football; it's about what you do with it. And I think we did quite a lot with it today. But I'm just really frustrated with us not creating too many clear cut opportunities because Hull were there for the taking today, and we've gone away with 0 points. And that's now, I think it's 4 games, 1 win, and 3 defeats for Wilder. And I don't think any of us expected to be doing that bad with Wilder coming back in. I think we all expected the Blades to start picking up points, start putting in better performances. And actually, one of those is happening. We're definitely putting in a better performance, a better shift. It's not difficult, but we certainly are. I'm sure it will come at some point. I'm sure we'll start winning games of football week in, week out. But it's really frustrating because Wilder's had an international break recently, or we've had an international break recently, and then we're having another international break. So it almost feels like there's not too much continuity right now. Some players will be playing international football, some won't be. We need to start picking up points because the more games you lose, the more it becomes a habit. And we've already got into that habit, haven't we? With Ruben Sayers' teams just rolling over and dying at every given opportunity. We don't want the same thing with Wilder. With Wilder, we expect fight. We expect to be on the front foot. We expect to be strong in defence and we expect to score goals. And it's another game where we've not scored a goal. And, we went 1-0 down. And I think quite a lot of fans already are thinking, well, we've gone 1-0 down. We're probably not going to bring this back. And that's not the mentality that the players should have or the fans, really. So we went 1-0 down. And obviously, that's what it finished. So frustrating, yes, but definitely, I'm seeing a bit of positivity. Certainly, a better team's coming out, but it's just not enough to win a game of football again. So I don't know whether it's the chance creation or whether it's us putting the ball in the back of the net. I'll run through some of the chances that we had today. Gus rattles the post. If that's an inch to the right, it's in the back of the net, but it's not on this occasion. There was a scramble in the second half that looked destined for the back of the net. Tom Davies slid in and had a really, really good shot. It was blocked on the line. He had another shot, blocked on the line again. Danny Ings has a shot. He's appealing for handball, which I've not seen it back, but there's probably 2 other bigger penalty shouts in this game other than that one. Obviously, we had the penalty as well. There was other chances, which I'm sure will come to my mind in a minute. But let's just talk about the penalty for a second. We'll get back to Hull's goal in a sec because I just really want to talk about chances that we've created because we've only had 3 shots on target today. One of them was a penalty. One of them was Gus from deep, which it's a good strike from distance, but the keeper's never letting that shot in. I'm trying to think of the last shot on target because the one from Gus obviously hit the post. Again, it was probably Tom Davies's shot, but we get the penalty. It's a Stonewall penalty, let's be honest. I think when Danny Ings went down, you knew that he weren't diving there. And the fact that the referee was in a good position to see it, fair play to the referee because there was a lot of times today where people were diving and he was like, nope, get up, get up. I think the first half he got taken a bit of a mug and, he gave a lot of free kicks. Second half, he wasn't giving free kicks at all. But Danny Ings gets, studs down the back of the calf. Like no one wants to see that. And, it might not have been the strongest challenge, but it's a penalty, isn't it? Harrison Burrows steps up. And you know what? I've a few times this season, we've nearly got a penalty, and I thought we deserved a penalty. And I'm thinking, Harrison Burrows hasn't had a particularly great start to this season, and confidence is probably quite low for him. And then I'm thinking, who's our penalty taker? Because we don't get that many penalties, do we? Since Billy Sharp stopped playing for Sheffield United, I keep forgetting who our penalty taker is. And Harrison Burrows scored many penalties last season. Really, really good penalty taker. I think one of them he might have been close to the keeper saving it, but it was so tame. He telegraphed it, and it almost felt like he needed to do what he did against Bristol City, which is look in one corner, reverse it into the other. That was when Harrison Burrows was at peak confidence levels. He wasn't today, and straight away I was like, I don't want Burrows taking this. I want Danny Ings taking this because Danny Ings looked up for it. And he looked more than anybody else. When he's on that pitch, he's like a little jackrabbit running around constantly and he's twisting and turning. He looks really, really lively. And with all the confidence and sorry, not confidence, with all the experience that Danny Ings has got, probably confidence as well. I would expect Danny Ings to dispatch that with aplomb, no problem at all. Um, and as much as I trust Burrows as a penalty taker because he'd scored so many penalties before this game, I was a little bit worried for his confidence, and that's not going to help it today. Missing that penalty and us coming away with no points. So yeah, really frustrating day. Let's just talk about the whole goal for a second. I don't want to spend an age talking about this game because it's a game that we should have got something out of at least a point, because they weren't particularly good. But 𝗏𝗏𝗏 got man of the match. He played okay. I think all the highlights after the game were just showing 𝗏𝗏𝗏 heading the ball away from a corner. We all know he can do that. Is that worthy of man of the match? Not sure. He had a nice little run in the second half, I believe it was, on the break, which, he did really well to get into that position, but it was a really, really tame finish with the outside of his foot. I saw that. I saw 𝗏𝗏𝗏 finishing that, going off, celebrating, and, fans turning toxic. But obviously that one didn't go in, but he still got man of the match. And I think that shows how poor both teams were, that a striker that hasn't scored, that had one good attempt that was pretty tame at the goalkeeper, has won man of the match. Like not wanting to slake 𝗏𝗏𝗏 because he did have a really good game. He had a good game, but I feel like if a striker's going to win man of the match, he probably should have scored a goal or created a couple or something like that. But yeah, let's have a little look on Flash Score actually. Who got man of the match or the highest rating on Flash Score? Let's have a little butchers. It was the goal scorer, obviously, isn't it always? But 𝗏𝗏𝗏 got a 6.8 out of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 Hull players got a higher rating on Flash Score than 𝗏𝗏𝗏. And I know it's not all about stats, and they'll be creating these stats from an algorithm rather than a human eye. But I think that just shows you really that 𝗏𝗏𝗏 probably got man of the match for heading a few balls away and playing against his old club. But that's more on us. That's more on us than Hull City because we should have taken this game to them. We should have scored a goal in the first half at least, and we should have put it to bed in the second half. But let's run through their goal in the 30th minute. This is the goal that wins the game, and that's always a bit frustrating to say because half an hour into a game, you don't want to think that's it. That's it. Might as well switch it off. But the ball comes into the box. Ben Mee is nowhere near his man, as I mentioned earlier on. I think Tanganga then misses it too. It lands to the back stick to Akintola. He takes a touch. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 gets back into position. And actually, if 𝗏𝗏𝗏 doesn't get back into position, Michael Cooper probably saves this or it goes over the bar. Because unfortunately, 𝗏𝗏𝗏 gets in the way of it. His arms, I think, are up here. So I think they're appealing for a handball. It's not an handball. Let's be honest, it's not a handball. His hands are really, really close to his chest, and he's really, really close to him. But it takes that flick off his arm and ends up right in that far corner. Michael Cooper, no chance, which is really, really frustrating. And that seems to be what's happening with Sheffield United at the moment. We're either getting unlucky with goals conceded or they're absolute screamers. And yes, against Southampton, the defending wasn't great for the first one, but the second one was certainly a screamer. So yeah, really frustrating day at the office for the Blades at the MKM, I think it's called. But at least we've lost a game of football early on, so we can not let it affect our full Saturday. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. The main reason why I say that is because every time Sheffield United lose, I just don't want to watch football at all. I don't want to watch match of the day. I don't want to watch the late kickoff on a Saturday. I don't want to watch any football on Super Sunday. I'm just not interested. And again, Sheffield United losing is just putting me in a bad mood. But I would rather be in a bad mood than apathy sets in. Because once apathy sets in and you just expect to lose every week, that is a team that's getting relegated. So I want to ask this question to you guys. If anyone's still out there this late into the video, thank you. You're a G. Let me know in the comments if you've got this far, because I'd really appreciate it. But are we in a relegation scrap? And I know, looking at the table, we're still not miles away. We are on 3. Wednesday are on 6, I believe, still. After that, we are on 6s, 7s, and 8s. So we're not far away, but I'd rather be within a win of getting out of the, well, yeah, we technically are within a win of getting out of the relegation zone, but Oxford are on -3, we're on -13. That shows how bad we've been this season. But I suppose that -5 against Ipswich is probably up to that stat massively. Wednesday lost 5-0 today at home, which is always good to see, but it doesn't feel good when we're losing and we're below them too. So, yeah, frustrating day, but I want to know from you guys, do you think we're in a relegation scrap? Do you think there's any way that we climb this table and get anywhere near the playoffs? What do you think right now? Do you think that Wilder will get them singing all off the same hymn sheet? Or do you think we're going to be in a relegation scrap for the majority of the season? Let me know what you think. I think after Luton going down last season, that's really kind of worried me, because quite often you think, they're too good to go down. They're too good to go down. And right now, on paper, I would say that about Sheffield United. We are too good to go down on paper, but football's not played on paper. So I'm a little bit worried, but at the same time, I've got a little bit of positivity about me, a bit of spring in my step, because we're actually not playing too badly. At least we're not getting thumped and absolutely hammered week in, week out like we were under Ruben Sayers. So that's something. So fingers crossed the Blades can get back to winning ways. I think it's Preston coming up next. But that would just add the nail in the coffin for this early part of Wilder's return, losing to 𝗍𝗷. But none of these games are easy games. And when you have an eye on an easy game, like the Charlton game, you don't win it, that adds more pressure, heaps way more pressure on Wilder, the players, and obviously us as fans, because we feel that pressure too. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I could have brought you a win, but unfortunately I haven't. And yeah, we're going to have to wait practically another 2 weeks for another game to put this right. So hopefully, nightly, players are thinking about this and thinking about how they can put this right. Not I don't want them to not get sleep, don't get me wrong, but I want this to affect them, because they need to come back fighting and they need to start winning some games of football and getting us up that league, because at the moment I see us finishing between 10th and 16th. I think that's where we'll probably finish. And that's a little bit, obviously it's good because we've not got relegated, but it's not very good to say that we were one of the teams that were tipped for promotion at the start of the season. But anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. And I'm going to go off and try and enjoy my evening. I'm going for a curry tonight, actually. That'll be fun. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a great evening too. And I'll catch you again very soon. Up the Blades.
𝗚𝗿𝗚𝗿𝗚𝗚. 𝗚𝗿𝗚𝗚𝗚𝗚.